Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle the revolutionary teachings of Bodhidharma, a Zen master whose ideas pretty much challenge everything we think we know about the spiritual path. So let's just jump right in with his most powerful, most disruptive statement. The mind is the Buddha. Now, this isn't just some clever little phrase. It's the bedrock of his entire teaching. What it's really saying is that the thing we're searching for, it isn't out there somewhere. It's the very thing that's doing the searching in the first place. And that, right there, leads to the big question. If the Buddha, this state of awakening, is our very own mind, then why do we spend our entire lives looking for it in books and temples and all these rituals? This really gets to the heart of the fundamental mistake that so many of us make. We can call this the search outside. It's this idea that enlightenment is like some external goal, a prize you have to win through a ton of effort, a destination you got to travel to. So what do? We fill our time with all kinds of activities, right? We chant sutras, we do these elaborate rituals, we bow to statues, we follow really strict moral codes. We get it in our heads that by perfecting all these external actions, we'll somehow earn or stumble upon a state of holiness. But Bodhidharma just flips this entire paradigm on its head. He says that trying to find a Buddha outside of your own mind isn't just hard, it's literally impossible. It's kind of like a fish searching for water. To really get this, we have to completely rethink what the word Buddha even means. It's not some historical person you're supposed to worship like a god. In this teaching, Buddha is just the name for your own mind when it finally sees its own true awakened nature. So here's the bottom line. The entire search for truth, the whole journey, it begins and ends right here, inside your own consciousness. You can't find it anywhere else because, it was never anywhere else to begin with. All right, let's really get into this and start taking apart some of the most common spiritual ideas out there, what Bodhidharma might have called the myths of merit. Okay, take chanting scriptures. We're taught that this is a sacred act, but Bodhidharma's take, if you don't see your own mind, all that chanting is going to do is give you a really good memory. It's like reading the menu over and over without ever actually eating the food. And what about following all those strict moral rules? Without that inner self-awareness, he'd say that's also useless for real liberation. Sure, it might get you a better rebirth in the next life, but it won't actually free you from the cycle. This next one just perfectly captures his logic. Why worship statues? Your mind is the Buddha. So when you bow down to some external image, you're actually using the Buddha, your mind, to worship a chunk of wood or stone. It's just a total misunderstanding of what's going on. I mean, this quote just cuts right to the heart of it. All of these external practices are based on this delusion that what's sacred is separate from you, that it's something you have to reach out and grab, instead of something you already are. Okay, so if all that external stuff is basically missing the points, then what is the real practice? What are we actually supposed to do? Well, the answer is incredibly simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's the practice of seeing. See, the true practice isn't about doing more stuff. It's not about adding more rituals or piling on more knowledge. It's simply about observing what's already here, the true, empty, aware nature of your own mind. Bodhidharma actually laid out 4 really practical ways to get there. And these aren't rituals, they're just fundamental shifts in perspective. 4 ways to change how you relate to your life and to your mind. Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. This practice of seeing actually transforms the biggest problems in our minds. So instead of fighting our demons, we learn how to turn poison into medicine. He says the source of all our suffering comes down to these 3 mental poisons: greed, anger, and delusion. You can think of them like clouds that are covering the sun of our true nature. But here's the radical twist. The goal isn't to destroy these poisons. The goal is to see them so clearly, to understand their empty nature so deeply that they just transform. Their energy becomes the very fuel for your awakening. So when you see that greed is just this empty grasping, it naturally transforms into morality. When you see that anger is just this empty, buzzing energy, it becomes concentration. And when you see delusion for what it really is, just a misunderstanding, it transforms into wisdom. The poison actually becomes the cure. So, where does all this lead? Well, it all points toward the ultimate goal, a state of profound freedom, a liberation from all the labels and all the boxes we're constantly putting ourselves and the world into. Bodhidharma uses this beautiful analogy for this. He says an ordinary, deluded person is like ice. They seem solid, rigid, separate. But a Buddha, an awakened mind, is like water, fluid, formless, and free. And here's the most important part. Ice and water are made of the exact same stuff. Nothing's been added or taken away. Only the state has changed. And this is really the ultimate takeaway here. Your essential nature, this Buddha mind, is beyond all our concepts. It isn't good or bad. It's not a man or a woman, a saint or a sinner. It's like empty space. It holds everything without being defined by any of it. And so we end right back where we started, but now with a much clearer focus. The entire path is simply this: to look inward and see your own nature. The one who does the seeing is the one who is found. There's no separation at all. Look, this isn't some belief system you're supposed to just adopt. It's a direct challenge. It's an invitation to run the experiment for yourself. Bodhidharma points the way, but he's insistent that you have to be the one to look. So, the only real question he leaves us with is, what will you see?